Hi, my name is Rich Schmidt. I'm here with Leda Garside. We're at Tuality Hospital in Hillsboro. It's June 15th, 2018. And Leda, we're going to start by asking you what made you decide to become a nurse?
Well, I've always been involved in the helping people, I suppose, since I was in elementary school and high school. Always involved with the safety committee in the high school, Red Cross, and what have you. So I think there's just been an affinity towards healthcare from early age, and also from personal experience with family members and family members in the industry in my native country of Costa Rica. So I think I've been gravitating to that since I was a child.
And when you decided to become a nurse, what path did you follow? Was education all here?
It was education here. I married quite young, and then my husband was transferred to Anchorage, Alaska, and that's where I went to nursing school. I wanted to be in the media. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a dental hygienist too at one time, and then a friend of my husband who worked at the Anchorage Community College talked to him about, maybe she should look into nursing, and I took that lead, and she was correct. So I applied to nursing school, started in Anchorage Community College, and from then I transferred to the University of Alaska and got my baccalaureate degree at the University of Alaska. Yep.
And then after that, what was the first job in nursing?
My first job in nursing was at Providence Hospital in Anchorage.
Okay.
I did my preceptorship, my clinical last senior year in one of the departments in the neurosurgical unit at Providence in Anchorage, and I got hired. I was offered a job right away, which was wonderful. and that nurse manager and that nursing director that hired me, I'm very grateful to them because they taught me a lot. And I'm still in contact with my director, which is amazing after all these 30 plus years of nursing practice. So it's just good to see that.
So how did you end up in Oregon, and more specifically, how did you end up as part of Salud?
Well, Oregon, again, due to my husband's work, he got transferred back here to Oregon. We were in Hawaii at the time, got transferred here to Oregon. And I found, I did some work here as a registered nurse, did some agency nursing, trying to find out, what was available. The second time we moved to Oregon, that is, and I had small kids. I didn't want, I didn't want to work full time, so I started looking for different agency work, and that took me to many different hospitals. And then I knew that there was a great need for the Latino community, but I couldn't quite pinpoint it where that was. And I was committed that I wanted to work with the community and offer my language, my culture to the community. And I found a very small little ad in the Oregonian that they were looking for a bilingual registered nurse at Tuality Healthcare in Hillsboro. So I applied. They wanted somebody who was bilingual Spanish, part-time job. I came and asked, I don't know anything about occupational health, but I can learn it. I'm bilingual, I'm bicultural, and like to learn. And they say, come on. And I got hired here for Tuality. And that was in 1992 that I started working here at this facility. I started in the occupational health nursing, and really got me exposure to work with the community. I started learning more about this area of the state, Washington County, the Latino community who was here, and it was quite amazing just to see that that one community that was very different from what I knew about the Latino community, getting to know that about the agriculture, about the needs of the community, the challenges that they were facing, and just learning about the whole thing about occupational health, and what occupational health also brought to me or taught me was that we had accounts. We had the occupational health department had different accounts with different businesses in this area. So I got to see different levels of the Latino community, the workforce within the Latino community, and some agriculture, manufacturing, other fabrics, some high tech and what have you. So it was fascinating. And so I decided this is a good place for me, and I worked for occupational health for a while. Then I continued my career here at Tuality, working internally as the employee health nurse. And eventually I got recruited by my boss, was very involved with the Salud program from the inception, and also by Maria McCandless at the foundation. And as they say, the rest is history.
When you were hired for your first job at the occupational health, had they had, were you the first person that they were looking for as a bilingual? As that was a new concept?
Actually, I think it was fairly new. The nurse that was in that role, she was moving out of state, and so they needed to replace her. And so I came as and getting fill somebody's shoes, let's put it that way. And it was fascinating because my first 12 years of nursing practice was direct patient care in the units, doing neurosurgical, neurology, general surgery, and what have you. So it was just fascinating to move to that area of outreach and prevention, and I had some experience with that because working the two hospitals that I work, the one in Anchorage, Alaska, and the one and Queens Hospital in Hawaii, the units that I work, we used to get the patients direct from the from the surgery after a neurology surgery to rehab all the way. So we had them from when they were very ill, rehab them until they went home or to an extended care facility. So that really exposed me to the needs of the discharge needs of the patient, and what's going to happen, once they leave an acute care facility. How is the families going to help this patient with the rehabilitation? Where are they going to go? So that really kind of put a different spin into the nursing practice, and the need to go out and do a lot of prevention, because I work with a lot of young kids that had spinal cord injuries or brain injuries due to car accidents, motorcycle accident, and so it just kind of start getting that curiosity about what can we do for prevention. And so and it was great to come back, to have the opportunity to come into occupational health, because that's what occupation is all about. You do health and safety at the workplace, and hopefully that's going to trickle down and still down to the home environment and family and personal care. Yeah.
What was the initial reaction from the community, especially the Latino community, when you were hired and started going out and doing kind of workplace prevention and injury prevention?
Well, for us, for example, my first intervention here, working as an occupational health nurse here at Tuality, was to go to businesses in the area, like packing, like food packing industry or manufacturing industry. So, just to have someone who be able to speak with the patient in their own language, talk about health and safety, back safety, talk about, their blood pressure in their own language, about nutrition and what have you. I mean, it was of great value because, people look forward to the next visit, or they made appointments. So when I arrived for example, if I was one of the, like Buffalo Marco, for example, I used to go there once a week, and so I already had appointments already lined up for the patients wanting to see me. So and it was great to also see the people in the community, or just to have the continuation of care. If they had a work injury, then I was able to refer them. Okay, let's come back to our occupational health occupational health clinic. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, just to provide that guidance to that patient. So, and having that in their own language and culture was of great value. And I know that, the administration of these businesses, they value that. Obviously, they wanted to continue with our accounts, and I wanted to continue with our services. Yeah.
So when you first became aware of Salud and first became involved with it, what were your initial impressions of the program?
Well, I got involved in Salud in the indirect way from early on, and one of the things that when the Salud program was initiated, the person that was hired initially, he was housed at one of the community health centers that we have as a partner. So one of the jobs that this person was doing medic first aid classes, and we were, as occupational health nurses, we were certified to do those classes. So we used to, go and help with those classes. And so again, that's another piece, that when you offer a medic first aid class, or you offer a nutrition class, and you see the needs of the community, you get to know the community is just, you realize the gaps and the needs and how you need to really provide more of the services that are linguistically appropriate and cultural appropriate for wellness and prevention. So, and again, getting to and being exposed to that, getting to know the community, that there is a lot of Latinos in this area, and also that there is a lot of Latinos that work in the agricultural industry, that are migrant and seasonal farm workers, which is something that I did not know, that I did not have that knowledge or that awareness. I guess that's what it is. I just didn't have that awareness that was a great need for the Latino community. And then as I start getting more involved and doing more research and reading more about, and then I just say, wow, I mean, who's running the agricultural, who provide the workforce in agriculture in our country, in this country, is Latino, the Latino community. And then started also learning more about the different agencies and different needs and barriers and challenges. It was just a whole new perspective of healthcare and community health. Yeah. What were some of
those like unexpected needs, barriers, challenges that you were surprised to learn as you were getting started?
I think it was just the access to care. I mean, I think that just the basic access to care. Where do an individual goes, or where do they take if they a child, if that individual have a simple ear infection or sore throat, or they say that person is pregnant and needs some prenatal care. Where did they go? I mean, and that was the challenge, because there were not many. We didn't have that many options. I mean, the only option was either come to the emergency room, and the community health clinics were just initiating. They were present in the community, but again, they were in the baby steps, and particularly here in Oregon, I think we have. I mean, we have a long history of really commitment in the community, and I saw that here in Washington County, with that support of people coming together and doing something for the plight of the underserved and the migrant population. So, and then I again started reading more. Who else is doing this in our community? Then I learned, I mean, that there is others in other counties, and start comparing who's doing what and why this clinic is more successful than the other. And just again start understanding what is this piece of healthcare that exists, but we don't learn it in school. I mean, we just learn it once you are in the real world. I mean, you get a very tiny sliver of that need in healthcare in your education, and not until you come out and you just say, wow. And I think that's improving. Definitely, I have to say that is getting better in the, not just in nursing school, but in the healthcare industry and the different programs that they are. I think there's been a better effort right now to teach students about the plight of the underserved or the underinsured and the minorities in our country. So it's improving.
So as you got into the Salud program, then what was the role you played early on as you were kind of becoming part of it?
Well, it was just to. I think the first order of duty was to learn. What am I doing? How do I do this job? I mean, you bring your nursing knowledge, you bring your clinical knowledge, but and that is extremely helpful, true. But then it's just, who are my clients? Who are my patients? And what are their needs? And where do they live? And what do they do? And I mean, it was just like, it was overwhelming because I accepted the job as I think it was as a challenge to myself, also to give back to the community, to use, as I said earlier, to use my culture, my language, and my knowledge of healthcare. And so that's what I brought to the table. But to be really honest, I really didn't know much about migrant and seasonal farm workers. I mean, just the little that I learned while I was exposed to community to occupational health. But I was not expecting that incredible learning curve, and it was a big learning curve. And the good thing that I'm not a person that, I mean, I observe first before I want to be sure that I observe and I have my facts in order before I start asking questions. And so there was a lot of learning, a lot of looking for information, a lot of seeing kind of the lay of the land, who is here, what is it that I need to do, how do I strategize what I need to do based on the homework that was assigned. And then they start getting into the process of, okay, who is in the community, who are the players in the community, and start reaching out to those individuals and say, hey, here I am, can you teach me? And start working with different people and learning and seeing who are the champions, and then asking a lot of questions of the workforce and of the people that I was involved with. I mean, I was very fortunate to have two amazing individuals that were so involved and so committed to this work. And one is Dr. Vince Reyes, and the other one is Terry Castillo from Bethel Heights. I mean, they knew, both of them knew, what they have a vision. They had a vision for this program, and so I get a little bit teary about that. But that was the challenge, just to see, to hear their vision, their passion for this work, because this program was already an exemption. It was already going, but it needed to move to a different level. And so that was my challenge. That was the thing, is how do I bring this program to this new level? And so we had a lot of discussions, we had a lot of meetings, we had a lot of ideas, and it's just to grasp those things and run for it. And I didn't do it alone. I mean, we have Maria too, that she was a very key person as well on this program, and how to put those monies to work. And also her knowledge of the industry, of what she heard that the needs were, and just bring all that information, between the three of them, between Maria, between Dr. Reyes and Terry Castillo. It was just like, how do we bring this to this level? And so that was the homework, and just and get to know the industry. That was another big piece. I mean, how do you go from point A to point B, and talk to the champions that were so committed to this work, and with a lot of guidance and a lot of introductions, and going together as a team. Okay, this is what we're doing, and looking for feedback of the people, and taking that into, very seriously. Use my nursing education, my critical thinking skills, things that I learned, through being in management and things. How do you do a strategic planning? How do you implement something? How do you evaluate it? So there were so many components to it. So it's been a big learning curve, and we're still learning today. After 20 plus years, we're still learning today. There's always a challenge in front of us. Yeah.
So what are the changes that you have implemented? What are the progresses you've made in those 20 years? What is it you're proudest of?
Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, I think the most important project, or the most important progress for me, was to really get to know who is the client, what's the lay of the land. And I think that was the biggest challenge, because again, home base for our program is Hillsboro, it's Washington County. But we know that there was a great needs outside this county. So just going out and learning, who lives in, who is in Yamhill County, who is in Marion County, and who are the players, who are the community players in that area, and what are they doing for this population. And so just getting to know that the lay of the land was extremely important. So I think for the first 2 years of this that I was involved was just that, and I think that was once I got to see what is it that I needed to do, or at least to have a plan anyway, it made it much easier. So I think that first step was extremely important, and I was very, very happy to at least to have a notion. Okay, this is what I need to do. These are the people that I need to continue to be talking to, and I know that I can go to this person. This person can connect me to somebody else. Building relationships with the federal qualified health centers, with the community health centers. That was a big accomplishment, because it was not an easy process. I have to say, it was not. It was challenging. But I think I think some clinics got, a little bit sick and tired seeing me and say, okay, Colin, okay, let me hear you. And then just have a plan with Maria too, just strategize on the funds that we had, how we're going to spend those funds, the priorities and all that. So it's in that sense, I would say that was the first accomplishment was that. Hiring staff. Mm-hmm. That was another accomplishment, because you cannot do it by yourself. Mm-hmm. Something very simple like having a vehicle to go from all these vineyards, because distance is big, and then the other thing that is probably the most important was building trust with the population. Start getting to know the workers and their families, getting to know who do I need to go, who do I need to really establish a really good relationship within the population of my clients, of the patients, so that I know that once I have a trusting relationship with this individual, I know this individual is going to be a champion for me. And so just developing those relationships, that was a very, very important to do. And then just to start getting to know, again, as I say, the clinics. That was very important, because we know that we knew from the inception of this program that we were not in a position to go and say we're going to do the care for these individuals. We couldn't do that, and we still cannot do that. We're doing some things, but is that piece is a whole different level of care. So and also getting to know the principals. What do they need? What do they want to see this program going? What can I bring to them? What kind of product can I bring to them that they see of great value? And so working with them, and offering them, a proposal that, okay, we can do, I can do X, Y, and Z. Is that good for you, or but in return I would like to do X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. So it was just a mutual, I think it's been a mutual understanding, and also to be held accountable for those things. And I think that's one of the things that for us that I can say very comfortably that we have been very accountable for the things that we have done with this program, that we can demonstrate, and we have demonstrated, okay, so we receive these funds and this is what we deliver. And here are the numbers, here is the information to prove that. And that we are very that we have strategized really well what are the things that we can do, very realistic, that that we can do this and that we can deliver it well. The other accomplishment that I say that was extremely important for me personally as a healthcare professional, and that was one of the things that I saw early on, was a great disparity in oral health, dental. It was horrific, really. I mean, it was just like, how can this happen? How is it that a person has to come, that the only option for them is to come to the emergency room? I mean, I found that totally unacceptable. And so we were very fortunate that the first person, one of the persons that was hired for this program, that he was connected with agencies in the community that provided that particular care, the dental care, and that we built on that. We built on those relationships and continued to grow that. And that was one of the first solid, and we continue to do preventative services is oral health. And we started with the kids. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I saw children of our workers with their mouth in such a despair that it was just heartbreaking. And I think the reason why it impacted me so much, the oral health, is because we know that when you have cavities, if you don't take care of those, I mean, it's so systemic. And I know that's a big technical word, but it's during an inflammation, and in you're harboring bacteria constantly. So you're sick. You're always sick. You don't feel good at all. So you need to take care of that right away. And so we accomplished that, and we continue to do that. The other thing that I'm very proud of this program that we established from early on was the prenatal care for the women, and that was very, very important. Again, basic health care. That how is we had a lot of challenges in our state early on about that, and so we made a commitment to help with some of that expense for the prenatal care for women. And thank God that right now in our state we have a different program now, so we don't have to worry so much about that. And I hope that it can continue. And so, but that was a really good thing that we established is to cover the prenatal care for these women. And then the other thing that I think that I'm very proud was to establish a program where we assist with some of the stipend for healthcare.
Oh, really?
That we are able to to help people with some of that is a really win-win situation, because it helps the individual that they know that they can go to a clinic, and that if they don't have the means to pay, that we can assist with some. And so that's been very, very helpful. But the other thing that I'm really very proud of is the relationships that we have built with the community health centers throughout the valley, where we provide services. That we have established a good relationship with those federal qualified health centers, with community health centers, with private providers that they listen to what we offer. They listen to who we are. That we provide them the information, we explain them who we are and what we do, and that they have been very open to work with us. And so in that sense, we are really closing the gap for that access to healthcare. And I think the other thing that I'm very proud of this program is that from early on, even before we had the healthcare reform and all of that, is that because it's not just me, it's a team effort, that we really start working on that was the first premise of this program, is how do we deal with the emergency room visits. And so start tackling that and start educating the individuals. If you have our earache, or if you have a sore throat, or if you have, this is a community health center where you can go, or this is this clinic in your community that you can make an appointment. And so start teaching and repeating and teaching and making that or educating individuals for how to access the healthcare system. And so when I first came into this program, emergency room visits were like the number one choice for access to care. As we continue to work on that, we began to see decrease, because we saw the services of the community health centers, and that we guided the person. No, this is where you go if you have an issue. And so even before the Affordable Care Act and all of the things, we diminished our emergency room visits to the single digits. It used to be the double digits and really high, and so we started down, and it's still today down. So primary care is now the norm for our clients. Dental access, early intervention, parents taking their children early on, the parents taking care of themselves too. And then those workers become our own champions, and so they pass that information to others, and so we build trust and relationships. So in that sense, that's been a big
That's a lot of accomplishments. That's a lot. We were talking off camera before we started. I was mentioning seeing the mobile health, the vans out and about. I'm curious if that was something that you started, or if that was something you just continued, because it's such a great program.
Yeah, well, the mobile clinic, I think that was the initial idea was, well, let's go buy a unit and bring, but then reality hits, and actually, when you go, it was good that we did not start the program with a mobile unit to begin from the get-go. I think we needed to do all the homework. We needed to establish what we established before getting into our own mobile unit, and I think that was very smart. And even though we wanted to, that was the first thing. Let's go get a mobile unit. And so again, it's just seeing who is in your community, and who provides, because that's one, I believe also, one thing that I am a true believer is that you should not reinvent the wheel. You need to maximize what is out in your community. And so particularly in healthcare, we have so much, we have so many social service agencies, and the opportunity is great in our community. So it's just going and understand, who is in your community, and who can I tap, and who can I collaborate, who can I partner with, and make it a win-win situation for both of us. So I had the great fortune to meet another agency that has a mobile unit, and so we talked to them and say, hey, I know you do this, and so are you open to go outside of the Portland metro? And say, yeah, for a cost, but that was okay. We were ready to do that. We were willing to do that. So that was really good to get that experience with that mobile unit and this other agency, and see how they work. And we created a wonderful relationship, and I'm very grateful for everything that they taught me and my team and that they give us. And so that brought us to that level. Okay, I think we are ready for this. And so the opportunity presented, and we were extremely happy. And I think the beauty with this is that we already had that experience, so we knew what worked and what didn't work. So it was good to get that information and that knowledge, and to get something that we felt was perfect for our needs. And so again, that's where the foundation comes into place, and the work that Maria and her team does in bringing those funds and working together and establishing, the parameters and the foundation for what we needed. And that's how the mobile unit started, and it's been wonderful. I mean, it's just the flexibility, the size of the unit is perfect for what we do. Is meeting our needs, and it's been great. It's really been a great tool. It's great to, the workers feel very proud to see when we go in there. I believe they love the design on the unit, and so it's meeting our needs right now. And I'm sure, we're talking about, hey, maybe we should get a second unit. And so we are, and that's another thing that we could look into in the near future. And that, again, this having our own unit has opened doors for other opportunities, and so we just experimenting with those right now and implementing some new programs, and so it's very rewarding on that sense. But I think the thing that makes this program works well is the collaboration that we have with other agencies and other services, because it's comprehensive. That one of the things that I told the team when I was first hired in this program is the clinician that I am, is that you start something, you have to complete the circle. You cannot just do something and then no. If you go here, you have to complete a full circle. In particular with these patients that we deal with, we're dealing with a seasonal migrant population. They have a lot of challenges in their hands. These are individuals that are here providing an amazing service for us as a region, as a industry. They're fibers in the fabric of our nation, of our state, and so they're providing an amazing service. And so we have to really treat them with great respect, with great dignity, and provide the services to where they are. And I think that's another thing that I truly appreciate at this program, is that we have full access to those workers, that we have access to the workplace, that we go there, that we provide that preventative services while they're at work, that we're able to teach them, things about health care, and that we provide health education to them, and so that they take that information to their home. And then the wife give us a call, so already we established that relationship, and so that trickled down, and so now we are not just dealing only with the worker, which is another thing about this program. This program is not just about the vineyard worker. This program is about families, and that is something that is to me is extremely important. And that's one thing that I always say to everybody, because people would like to consider the vineyard workers. Say, yeah, it's the vineyard workers, but we're dealing with families, because we are touching every individual in that family. And so that's what I think I value of this program, is that we have that access to the workforce, that we have that trusting relationship, not just with the workforce, but also with the principals, that they're committed to this mission, and that's demonstrated by the years that this program has been in place, and what is yet to come. Because we're just, the child now, my child right now is 20 years old, so there's more to come. Yeah.
I'm curious, as you were starting out and getting this going, going into the community as a woman of color, if there were any challenges you faced that you were either surprised by or that you had to deal with that were unusual for you, or if it was, or if you were pretty well received.
Oh yeah, the list is long. The list is long. But you know what? The challenges have been many. I mean, I think people, particularly in healthcare, it's just the idea that you need to know how to navigate the system is crazy. It's insane. I mean, even if you are fully versed on the healthcare system, it's complicated, and so it's just having those challenges with the expectation is this worker he needs to speak the language well. Or he or she needs to bring her own interpreter. Well, no, that's not what we do in healthcare. And thank you for asking that, because those challenges that I've encountered about access, about language, about the healthcare system, about being underinsured or not insured, or the expectation that you have to pay up front to receive services. That has given me the push to be involved in health policy in our state. And so that has allowed me to say, this other challenge. And as a minority woman or a minority nurse, I have to be at the table. And I need to provide my point of view to the powers to be and to the policymakers. And I'm going to be there at that table. And so that has allowed me, it has provided me a medium to be there and to provide, to learn from the community, because I'm not the expert, and I'm bringing the message of my community to that table, because they're the ones who are telling me what they need and what their barriers are. I observe them, I know them, but I verify them with them. And then I bring that message to the policy table. And so that has allowed me to do that. And to be an advocate for patient rights, to be an advocate for healthcare, basic healthcare access, to be an advocate, I work really hard with other agencies to bring the prenatal expansion in Oregon, which I'm so glad that we have that. To work in the healthcare advocacy for Cover All Kids, which is basic. It's basic access to care. To commit myself to be a public servant, being in commissions, being in committees, being involved. Not just say I do this, no, but just with actions, and I think that's part of my. I think that's just part of my making. Grew up in that environment too of being involved in your community and taking care of, working with your community and taking care of the community and giving back to your community. So I bring those traits to the work I do. Yeah.
If you can qualify it or quantify, what is the impact that Salud has had on the Oregon wine industry as it's grown, or as they've grown together, I guess?
Yeah, we have grown together, that's for sure. I think the impact has been high. I believe that the industry has a healthier workforce. I believe they have a workforce that they know who to go or where to call if there is a healthcare needs for themselves or a family member. I think we have done a lot of prevention and intervention, and that's a lot of savings of funds. Also, that we're not reinventing the wheel, as I said earlier. We are teaching the individuals where those services are in their area, where they live, where they work. I believe it's just elevating the healthcare needs the health, elevating the health of the population. I think that's what we have done together. And then the industry has really made a commitment, and they've put in a product that is wonderful, a product that doesn't just happen, doesn't just appear by magic. That is a product that needs a lot of hand labor, and they needs skillful labor. It's not something, not anybody, not, you cannot just go and say, okay, I'm going to go work in a vineyard. It's something that you have to learn and you have to master. And I see these workers as such. They are very good at what they do. They do an excellent job, and they're helping to create this incredible product that is the wine. So I think in that sense, the value of the worker and what they provide to this industry is super high, and I believe that's the commitment that they're making to continue with that and to provide something to a workforce that is very seasonal and that is very seasonal, because that's the thing, is migrant is seasonal, and so by means of this program they are able to bring a service to them by getting involved and providing funds that go towards the program.
You mentioned Terry Castillo earlier as an early champion. I know there are lots of people in the industry on the wine owner side who have been strong proponents and strong supporters of you over the years. I'm curious, as the industry has grown so fast in the last decade or 15 years, with all of the new people coming into the industry, what their reaction is when they learn about Salud, and if you've had any issues with educating all of these new people about what you offer.
Yes, the education is ongoing, because we see the new players that coming into the industry, and that's what I have seen through the years. Now we see that. Now, maybe we saw a worker or this vineyard, we knew the owner for years and years, and then suddenly, it's somebody else. Okay, so now how do we connect with that individual, and who is the principal? And so that's very important to keep up to date, and who is new, who's coming, who's going, and so the industry in my years in this program has changed tremendously. And it's changed, I believe, to the positive. I think it's been interesting to see the growth. I mean, just amazing just to see the growth of the vineyards, and to see what the industry is accomplishing with their product, not just here in the area, but national, international. And so I lost my thought. Ask me the question again. I'm sorry. I was going somewhere.
Relationship with all the new people in the industry and this growth, and kind of educating the new owners.
So we do. We one thing that I do quite often is send emails, introduce myself and the team. Figure out who's new, if they know, and we ask the questions. Here we are. Do you have any questions of us? How can we help you? This is how we function. This is how we do it, and so and continue to develop those relationships. I think I've been very fortunate too that if, for example, if somebody if there is a vineyard manager, and it's happened more often than not, when a vineyard manager moves on, and many of them do call me and tell me, which is, I appreciate that, and they tell me so and so is going to be the new person, and I appreciate that, because that allows for continuation of care. So just that alone, even if it's 2 or 3 people, that is of great value to me, because that shows me that they care a great deal about their workers, that they don't want the service to be interrupted. And so we see that. And then the other thing that I think is of an amazing value is that I seen the second generation of family members coming into the industry, and the care too, and they embrace, and how the new generation is how they're embracing this program. And that to me is of great value, because we know that this program will continue to be very important in their in their business. Yeah, is that
it's part of the charm of outdoor interviews.
Interview. So so having the second, the second generation or the third generation, the continuation, or when somebody sells the business and see that the new owner or the new enterprise hears about our program and they want to be involved, that is of great value and much appreciated as well. So that is important. So I see, definitely, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I mean the industry has a buy-in in what we're doing, and again, because we have demonstrated, we have showed this is an investment that you're making, and this is an investment they continue to give. It's not a one-time investment or a one-moment investment. It's an ongoing investment. It's a program that is run year-round, and so that makes a difference. I mean, the other thing too that I'm also talking about being grateful and changes and everything is my agency. I mean, Tuality, the commitment that this hospital has towards this program, and the support that we get to run this program, because I could not function without that structural support, from the IT to the human resources to, there's the list is long, and so I cannot function with that, because I have my support in here of if I need, we're starting new programs, if we're going to be ordering medications, how do we do that in a very good way, economic way? How do I do, policies and procedures, following the protocol that my facility gives me and asks me to follow. So all those rules and regulations, for that I'm extremely grateful, because I couldn't function without that. The source of the money, I mean, how that is coming into this program. I mean, the work that the foundation does to assure that we have those funds year after year. So there's all that infrastructure that we don't talk too much about, but is the pillars. One of the pillars of this program is the infrastructure that we get, the support, and even as our own agency is going through changes that we have, that our new team of administrators have embraced what we do, and so that is amazing, and and again, it's just it will, in my opinion, it will only going to continue to grow. Yeah.
Speaking of that, where do you see Salud going in the next, say, 10 or 20 years? What do you hope for? What do you want to have happen?
Well, we were talking about a fleet of vehicles. I mean, a fleet of mobile units. So, well, I think what I see with the program is, if we can continue to grow, because we're not, we are reaching a great portion of the population, but we still, the Oregon, the wine industry is in the whole entire state. I mean, we concentrate in the most in the thick of this, or the heart, I guess, which is Yamhill County, Marion County, Polk County. That's where most of the vineyards are. But there's great needs everywhere. Southern Oregon, Eastern Oregon. I mean, we have already done the homework. That's one homework that we did really, really early, was to map the state and to see where are those viticulture areas, and what are the needs. But we knew that we cannot be everywhere, but do a good job where we are, and continue to expand, and eventually use this program, which I am also talking about being proud, is to use this program as a model for others to replicate in other areas, not just here in Oregon, but outside Oregon. And so what I see with this, and moving forward, is probably expanding the service. I mean, we're starting that right now with we have a provider on board we're doing a pilot project right now with that, and I'm hoping to expand that even more. and continue to, to strengthen those relationships with the clinics, because again, we know that we cannot do primary care at this point anyway. But maybe someday. But bring more points of care, higher points of care services to the patients, because the reality is, for a lot of our workers, we are their only healthcare encounter. They will not go to a clinic, and I think that's going to be something that I'm going to be monitoring very closely, because with the current, and I don't know if I should say this, but with the current political atmosphere that we are encountering in our country, that's becoming really challenging for our workers. They don't feel secure, they don't feel safe. They're very hesitant to go and receive healthcare services because of all the tensions that we are seeing and the experiences that some have encountered, and so that's something that we have to monitor very, very closely, and my role is to provide, and that of my team is to bring healthcare services to this population, regardless of their legal status. That is not of a concern. That's not a reason for at all. So we just don't ask, and our role is to provide healthcare services.
Sure. Switch gears a little bit and talk about your work with Linfield, because you're on the board there. We'll start by talking about how you came to be on the board of trustees at Linfield.
Well, I came to Linfield via the nursing school. Got involved early on. I mean, we were talking years back with Linfield because of Linfield. The School of Nursing had a great desire to make improvements in their diversity in their student body, and so through my link through the National Association of Hispanic Nurses and meeting and knowing some of the professors, that's how I got involved, and so I helped the college with some grants provided. I was part of their equity and inclusion diversity committee that they started, and it's been that's how I got my foot into Linfield, by helping with getting involved with the nursing school and helping increase the diversity of the students, and I think we have accomplished, and the college is doing a really good job with that.
Sure.
And
so at some point, President Helly approached you to be on the board?
Yes, and I think also with my link with the wine industry and what have you, and so it's been one thing have linked. It's amazing how these fillers grow and knowing other people that I knew that were in the board of Linfield, that I served with them in the other boards, and so I think it's just interesting to see how things do happen. And it's been wonderful. It's been a great privilege to be in the board to be a board trustee of the college. It's been really good.
What's the importance to you of being on that board? Why is it meaningful?
Oh gosh, well, meaningful is because the School of Nursing. I care a great deal for the School of Nursing. I have had many students from Linfield doing rotation in my department. I see some of the students now as colleagues. Their education that they receive is quite good, very good. They're great clinicians, really good. So I think that's been the really, really big link is with the School of Nursing, to see how their diversity have increased, and then overall the college, what the college offer as a education center, really incredible critical thinking skills for these students. Their art, how they expand their brain, to think outside the box, to really explore and to bring their best that they have. So I value that. I value the effort that the school has made to expand to different services, different programs. A good example is the wine studies. One more example with that. as that's amazing. What to see what's happening and how that have evolved. Started small and look what it is today. The college also got very interested in the adult continuing education and offering a language, healthcare interpretation for healthcare professionals. I thought that was really, really good. And they're concentrated in Spanish. The language art department at Linfield is excellent. It's amazing, and just to see the school embracing that is very much appreciated, because we have a great need for language skills and people that are well prepared and professionals on that, and they're doing that right now, and I hope that program continues to grow. And just to see what Dr. Healy has accomplished. He's a very incredible visionary, and we're starting a new chapter at Linfield with the upcoming president, and I think it's going to be amazing things coming up. Yep.
You talked about the wine studies as one of the new things implemented at the school. I'm curious, you've seen the wine community grow up, you've seen the Salud grow up, you've seen Linfield grow with them both. I'm curious about the relationship between Linfield and wine and how you've seen it kind of come together, and where you hopefully see it going.
Oh, wow. Well, I think, again, I see the wine studies program just like I see the nursing program. This is workforce diversity. You're bringing, the college is expanding the workforce in Oregon, and we have a great opportunity to continue to build on that. And I believe the wine studies, what the college is doing right now is really combining, the science with the science with the health literacy, not health literacy, no, let me say that again. The science with the arts, and also the marketing. So there's three things. So health, the science, the arts, and the marketing. And that is an incredible combination. Is to see where this industry, the Oregon industry, what I see of the Oregon industry, it's just going to continue to grow, and it's just great that to see that the students are learning what is that process, and that you can combine, that you can have, maybe you can be a registered nurse, you can be a music major, but at the same time you can learn about this other thing, or that you are in the science, because wine, making wine is all science, right? Biology and chemistry and all of that, and so you're expanding your knowledge, and you're bringing a workforce, and you're bringing marketplace to the state, and it's just making a bottle of wine is so many. There's so many steps to it, and I think what the college is bringing is providing that accolades of how to do a label, how to do marketing, how to create a good product. Mm-hmm. So, and again, it's workforce.
Sure.
It comes down to that, workforce.
Where do you hope to see Linfield accomplish or become in the next, say, 10 or 20 years? What do you have hope for the future?
Okay.
Asking you lots of big questions
yeah,
here.
that's a big question. Well, I think the college is just have opportunities to expand to new programs. I think we do need to diversify it on new programs, because the education is changing. We have opportunities to, with these wine studies and with the science and all the campaigns going on. The college has a great opportunity to bring in new programs. Mm-hmm. And I think as we hear, the challenges with private small colleges is the number of students, and so it's just to really expand that and bring students and bring new programs. And in the health ally field, I think that's very important, just to look into that, see what other opportunities are available for the college, and maybe start thinking about a master's program. And I think that will be the next. I will love to see the college to expand on masters on higher education. Yeah, continuing that.
So as you look back over your career and things you've accomplished, I'm curious what you see as your role in sort of creating opportunities for minorities in the workforce, whether it's creating new jobs or helping people gain the abilities to. I'm sort of curious if you can kind of reflect back on your role as an opportunity creator.
Oh, well, I see the number of students that I have mentored in nursing school. I see what I would like to see is more minorities in nursing, in the healthcare field. I want to see more representation of the community that we serve. I mean, I was the only Latina in my nursing program, and that was, just to see. And I don't want people just to be just the only one. I mean, I think it's important to reflect the community that we serve, and so just to continue to increase in the minority representation in the at all levels, as students, as professors, in the workforce, for us to be a reflection of the community where we live. Yep.
That's all the questions that I have for you. I hope those were enough big questions for you.
Boy, that was a big question. I hope I answered the questions properly.
Wonderfully. Thank you so much. Were there anything else you want to add at the end? Anything else I should have asked that I did not?
No.
Well, thank you again so much for your time and for all your service to the industry and to the school.
Absolutely. Thank you.